Hello everyone, welcome again in my channel Sarmal Education. So today we are going to continue with our third video of web development, and in this video we are going to discuss about HTML. So yeah, let's start. As I have mentioned in the first term that HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. And in the first point I have mentioned that with HTML we can only create static website, but if we want to create dynamic website then we have to use JavaScript. As I already mentioned you in the video that while creating the website there are two languages which are required, and that are HTML, CSS for structure and styling, and the JavaScript is required for their behavior, means for their dynamic activity. So that's why I have mentioned that if we want to create dynamic website then we need to use JavaScript. Now moving further to next point, that we can create web pages, web application or websites by the usage of HTML. Why I have mentioned these three terms? Because these three terms are same. We can create website, web application or web pages by HTML. These all are same, okay? Now moving further to the classification of HTML term. As HTML is classified into two terms, hypertext and markup language, and everyone says that HTML is a combination of both terms, hypertext and markup language. As further I have mentioned that hypertext define link between web pages and markup language. Actually in further time I am going to explain you about hypertext and markup language, and then you will guys understand that how hypertext define the link between web pages and markup language. So we will come back into this. Now coming to the third point, that HTML is used to create the structure of web pages that are displayed on the World Wide Web. As I already told you about this, that HTML is used for structure and CSS is used for styling and JavaScript for dynamic behavior. Now last point, HTML contains tag and attribute that are used to design the web pages. Also we link multiple language pages using hyperlink. We can take example of house, as while creating any house we need bricks, cement, and similarly we need tags and attribute to create the structure of website, as like we need bricks and cement to create the structure of house. So it's very similar to that process, okay? Now moving further to next page, a creator of HTML. So Tim Berners is the creator of HTML, and he created it in 1993. He was a computer scientist and also best known for the invention of World Wide Web, means he is having participation in the invention of World Wide Web. Now here I have drawn the flow chart of markup languages. Actually HTML was not first markup language. Before it there were several markup languages which are already invented. So first markup language was generalized markup language, which was developed by IBM, and then this language extended to HTML, that is standard generalized markup language, and it was developed by ISO, that means International Organization of Standardization. Now further HTML, this markup language extended to two markup languages. First was HTML developed by Tim Berners, and then XML, extensible markup language, which was developed by W3O, means our World Wide Web Consortium. And now moving further to HTML, which was again extended to XHTML. It was a advanced version of HTML and developed by W3C, again means World Wide Web Consortium. And again XML also extended to XHTML but with RSS, Atom and KML, means it is not extended to single language, it extended to many languages, okay? And now next is about hypertext and markup language. So hypertext is simply means text within text. For example, when we visit any website, then over there sometime we see they mention that click here to register, click here to register, and when we click on that button, click here to register, then we go to the next page. So this click here to register is a hypertext which taking us to the next page, means which including one web page into this, means this text is containing one web page into itself. So these type of text which are containing any web page or any link in itself is called as hypertext, okay? So a text has a link within it is a hypertext, and whenever you click on a link which brings you to a new web page, you have clicked on a hypertext. Means they said whenever you click on any text which takes you to a new web page, then it means you clicked on a hypertext. Okay, so hypertext is a way to link two or more web pages with each other. So they are just saying that hypertext is just a link, or we can say is a path to link two or more web pages with each other. Okay, now moving further to markup language. As HTML is markup language, and why we are using it, because we want to give a layout and format to a document which we are using to create web page. So basically markup language is a computer language that is used to apply layout formatting convention to our text document. Okay, so that's why we are using HTML, because by using HTML on a text document, we are going to create a web page with proper layout and formatting. So now markup language makes text more interactive and dynamic by applying a layout and format. Obviously if we are applying layout and format to anything, then it becomes interactive, and we are doing it by markup language, which is HTML in web development. So it can turn text into images, table, links, etc. Obviously if you are having some little means familiarism with HTML, then obviously you must have an idea that whenever we are going to create any table, then we are not going to draw lines in the HTML document. We are just mentioning it through attributes and tag which we use in HTML. We just write all the content in attributes and tag, and then all the detail after execution turn into the table form. Means that turn into the drawing form of table. Okay, so it is a magic of markup language that we are writing the thing into text and they are turning into the forms. Text are turning into the table form, into the image form, and so on. Now next is about web page. So a web page is what? It is a document which is commonly written in HTML. As I already told you while explaining markup language, that we use HTML in a document to turn it into a web page, right? So basically we are giving a layout and formatting to that document to turn into a web page. So they also mentioned this, that web page is a document which is commonly written in HTML and translated by web browser. And who translate that HTML written statement into the another form, means into the table form, into the image form? Who translated it? Web browser translated that text into the another form. Okay, so next, a web page can be identified by entering an URL. Obviously when we want to search about any website, then we just go to Google and try to search that website by their URL address. So we can identified a web page by entering their URL. Okay, a web page can be of the static or dynamic type, as I already explained it in the starting point, that we can create static and dynamic website both, but there are some difference between the languages that we are going to use to create this website. So here I have again explained the structure of web page, that we are going to create the structure of web page by HTML, their styling by CSS, and their behavior by JavaScript. So it is all about the website, that how we create it. Okay, now version of HTML. So till 2024 there are only 5 version of HTML. The first was the basic version of HTML, which just only have text control and images only, and second is a little improvement from HTML1, as it was developed in 1995, and it doesn't came with a lot of improvement but little one. So the third one is 3.2. It was developed in 1997, and it came up with the important feature of HTML that was implemented as styling for document. Okay, and now the last fourth one was developed in 1999. It extended the support for CSS, means cascading style sheets, and even also it provide new tags of HTML. And the last one, which is the latest version of HTML, so it came into the 2014, and it came up with a lot of new tag like input tag, form tag, means a lot of video tag and so many tag. And even with this version of HTML there are a lot of new functionalities in the CSS, means CSS gets supported by the HTML after HTML 3.2, means third version of HTML. But in the latest version of HTML, CSS getting a super level spot. So it was all about the version of HTML, and here I have also mentioned about the new tag that has added into the new version of HTML5. And means HTML version 5 is the version in which things are getting added day by day, as the latest tags are email, password, audio text, semantic tag, it is semantic tag, and section tag. So it was all about HTML in the course of web development. Obviously, we are going to discuss a lot more about HTML, but it's a little basic introduction of HTML. And in the next video, we are going to discuss about CSS and JavaScript, means their introduction. So guys, thank you for watching my video, and don't forget to come in next video, and please also like, share and subscribe so that we can continue with our entire playlist. Thank you.